Welcome to the U.S. Military Base YouTube channel. Let's start with the latest news of the military agenda. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Ukrainian rocket forces and artillery struck two groups of Russian military personnel and equipment, as well as two ammunition storage points. The Ukrainian Air Force, carrying out coordinated operations with these attacks, carried out more than 20 missile attacks in 7 regions where Russian military personnel and equipment are concentrated. In response to these attacks of the Ukrainian forces, the Russian army carried out offensive operations on 5 different fronts. In total, the Ukrainian forces managed to repel 55 enemy attacks and neutralized 670 Russian soldiers. When we look at the developments on the Bakhmut front, where the most violent clashes took place, we see that there has been a significant change in the attack strategies of the Russian army. In this context, it seems that the Russian army, which managed to pass the Ukrainian defense line on the railway line in the city center, will no longer be able to go beyond this region. If the Russian troops could not find a position to take a position to the west of the railway line, if they started such an operation, it would have caused heavy losses. For this reason, the Russian commanders, who changed all their goals, started to move their troops to the north of the city. According to reports, Russian forces have carried out heavy attacks on the 0506 highway connecting Bakhmut and Chasiv Yar districts for the past 16 hours. It seems that the Russian troops, who lost 10 combat vehicles, 2 tanks and 15 military vehicles in the conflicts in this region, suffered heavy losses for a small success. Although Russian troops have not yet taken control of the highway, it is expected that the intensity of the fighting in this region will increase in the coming days. However, a photo shared by Ukrainian soldiers a few minutes ago shows the Ukrainian army bringing a game-changer weapon to the front. In this context, the photo shared by Ukraine's 49th Artillery Brigade on Facebook shows the rocket launcher system produced by Turkish companies. The blog newspaper Ukraine Weapon Tracking reported that this missile system is the MCL rocket launcher system produced by the Turkish company Roketsan. So far, no statement has been made on this issue from the Turkish or Ukrainian authorities. However, the system seen in the photos looks exactly like the MCL rocket launcher system that Roketsan showed at an exhibition a few months ago. This rocket launcher system, which has a range of 70 kilometers, can perform coordinated attacks with unmanned aerial vehicles. In addition, in the statement made by the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces Command, it is seen that the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces placed TM-62 mines in possible displacement areas of Russia and a T-90 tank triggered the mine. Seeing that the tank was damaged, the Ukrainian soldiers finished off the tank with an anti-tank missile. From the appearance of the missile system in the video, we can most likely say that it is the Ukrainian Korsar light portable missile system. Korsar is not one of the most powerful weapons, even among the developments in Ukraine. For example, the Stugna P missile is said to break through 1,000 mm of armor. However, the tandem charging technology used in the Korsar makes it similar to the American FGM-148 Javelin or the British Brimstone and allows it to hit the vehicle despite its reactive armor. Still, it's fair to say that it took a few shots to take down this T-90. That doesn't apply to the event we're going to talk about now. In the shared video, it is seen that the T-90 tank was detected by the soldiers of the Ukrainian Air Assault Force while trying to cross the minefield. The attempt was detected and blocked in a timely manner. Anti-tank crews soon arrived on the scene and destroyed the Russian tank with the FGM-148 Javelin. According to the Oryx-Osint community, at least 60 tanks of the T-90 family of all variants have been destroyed in Ukraine so far. In addition, 31 Abrams tanks, which the USA promised to Ukraine, may soon arrive in Europe. Clash Report says 31 M1A1 Abrams will arrive at Grafenwohr training base in Germany in mid or late May. The source writes that it will take at least 10 weeks to train Ukrainian tank crews. If the information is reliable, it means that by early August, Ukrainian tank crews will have completed their training to work with the American Abrams main battle tank. We remember that the Pentagon said that Ukraine will receive the promised tanks in the fall or at the end of 2023. In this context, the information in the Clash report does not contradict Washington's claims. However, it has not been ruled out that the information is correct and Washington was able to complete equipment for Ukraine faster. It is not yet known where the USA will supply 31 tanks to Ukraine. After Washington announced in January that it was ready to send its own tanks to Kiev, there were mixed opinions in the media. Some think, as Beaking Defense writes, 31 tanks will be a mix of built and depleted stocks. However, U.S. media also suggested that the M1A1 Abrams could come entirely from U.S. stocks. Soon another opportunity arose and it was called Egypt. Recently it became clear that Cairo was aiming to secretly supply Russia with ammunition. Under Washington's pressure, it's entirely possible for Cairo to become a co-supplier for the M1A1 Abrams. On the outskirts of the Egyptian capital there is the only factory for these tanks outside the USA. Although there is no mention of Abrams tanks, Egypt is said to be ready to send 152 and 155 mm shells to Ukraine. Ukrainian armed forces are already training on German Leopard 2 tanks and British Challenger 2 tanks. Some tank crews have completed their training and others are continuing at training sites in Poland and Germany. Germany was under tremendous pressure from Europe and the USA to send its tanks to Kiev. Despite long-standing opposition to such a decision, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz eventually agreed with only one counteroffer that if the United States sent tanks to Ukraine, they would too. So Washington accepted Germany's offer and agreed to send Abrams. But to date, there are opinions that Abrams will not work in Ukraine. Such an opinion was expressed by U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan in a television interview. The interview was in February of this year, and Sullivan explained that the U.S. president was starting to confront opinions among senior military personnel around him that Abrams didn't make sense in Ukraine, so Leopards were the best option. For now, information is limited to these. In the coming days, we will follow all the military and political developments in the world, especially the Russia-Ukraine war, for you. To be informed of developments faster, you can subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Also, if you like our video and leave a comment, you will make us feel your support. For now, I wish everyone a good day. See you soon.